Okay.
because I think we're talking to kind of like a larger partnership. I just kind of like want to make sure that he gets to speak with you and you kind of
Okay.
feel like you get to know the team a little bit. So
Okay.
he's there as well.
Okay, wonderful.
Good. My name is Jay. Great to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Jay.
So, is everything working away okay with this kind of conference call we have here? You're probably just looking at a screen and my face.
Yep, it's good so far.
Okay, great. So I kind of thought what would be make a lot of sense is, we could just basically love to hear a little bit more about how you're thinking about Active Learn and how teachers are using it and how you kind of see it rolling out. I know you want pricing on a couple different options.
Yep.
Before, I'd love to hear how you've been exposed to our tool and how you see it maybe fitting in with either a school or a series of schools or maybe even your entire district.
Okay, so right now I have it piloting with 3 of our 8th grade teachers. Next year we're going to roll out a one-to-one in our 6th grade, and our big push or our focus for our district is literacy. And so when looking around on Twitter and a couple other sites, this one popped up, and I love it because I'm a former language arts teacher. So I love the fact that it engages kids in real time with the reading process. And so I pitched it to some of the 8th grade teachers. They were on board with it. Right now they've just created their own accounts, and they've done a couple just short stories with it. And then in May, Darla, who actually just upgraded to the pro trial, she will be doing Tom Sawyer in its entirety through the month of May and seeing if it's something that her kids will respond to or whatever. So I guess the biggest question I have is, what could it look like for us at that 6th grade one-to-one initiative? And then if it works out, how could we expand it? Do you see it being used in like 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade? Would that be something that would have a lot of text available? I'm kind of curious to know more about how you purchase the text and the copyright and all that stuff. So those are just a few of the questions I have right now.
Okay, and just to make sure, definitely being used in kind of the 8th grade and middle school.
Yep.
Is there a focus in kind of like secondary or high school as well next year, or is it more about middle school and the early primary school?
Well, actually, my focus would be the middle school. I service 3 elementaries of our 12. So we have, well, now we'll have kindergarten, 2 kindergarten centers, 2 others. So we have about 15, we'll have 16 elementary schools. We have 2 middle schools of 1,000 kids, and then we have 2 high schools running about 1,000. So I guess my primary focus would be on the reading 6-12, but if it's something that would fit for 3rd through 5th graders, we don't necessarily have like that one-to-one access. So it would be harder for teachers to get kids on there on a continuous basis, whereas the middle school and high school are pretty much one-to-one right now. So that's kind of where we're at.
So the way we would probably, the way we would price it then is that, we could do the grade level like you said, but in the district level, we basically price it for your middle and high school, but then we'll give everyone access. So,
okay.
Because if the 3 through 5, if they find value, even if you're not one-to-one, you still can use it sometimes. We do have, frankly, less content in grades 3 and 4 than we do for 5 and up.
Okay.
So those students we would kind of package them for free if you would.
Okay.
And we have the licenses either at the grade level or the district level for everybody.
Okay.
And in terms of content, and have you been able to play around a lot with that? One of the reasons we do video calls is just so we can do a demo so you can see kind of some of the features that help when you do a larger whole school or district implementation.
Yep, I feel like I've monkeyed. I have a teacher account. I have a couple different student accounts that I can bop in and out of their pilots with. So I like the pro version with the tracking of the vocabulary. I just monkeyed with that a little bit. So yeah, I think I'm good, but if you definitely want to share, I would love to learn more. So.
Yeah, why don't we share a few more things?
Yeah.
And then we can talk about the content and what it would look like. So can you see our screen?
Yep.
Okay, great. So you've seen the catalog, obviously, and you've probably seen how you can add all this different types of content. PDF. Have you tried adding anything from the internet yet?
No, not yet.
Okay, so let me show you how this works. I'm just going to take a New York Times article, for example.
gosh.
Okay, fix the page, kind of done. I click done, and now this article is right in my workspace.
Okay.
See here, it goes up.
Wow.
And I open it, and I get a clean copy of the article.
Okay.
And so I can assign this to students like you normally do, and you see how to add instruction?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, so you insert a question, you can do different question types, poll, multiple choice, short answer, you can tie it to the standard.
Yes, I love that.
Okay, so I'll put this in. And you can also add media, you can add in videos and photos, any of it.
Yep.
Okay, so you've seen all that, so I'll step out. The one thing that we do that you might not have noticed is you're actually allowed to co-author assignments.
Okay.
So you use other teachers in your school. So for example, you mentioned Tom Sawyer, and maybe there's a couple of teachers that want to create the instruction together. If they don't want to use ours, you can just, highlight the person's name, and they can also be adding their own instruction here, kind of just like Google Docs.
And that's a feature that I'm really excited about with the Pro version, because we have basically each content area has 4 common assessments that they have to complete throughout the year, and we're at 2 different buildings. We don't have a lot of that time together, but if we could focus it around like Tom Sawyer or Call of the Wild or whatever it looks like, then that can be done with little interaction actually with teachers. So that was really exciting to see.
The other thing they can do if they don't want to necessarily pin the assignment together is just easily share an article with each other. So I take this and I can just either put it in the school library or I can send it to any teacher, and that teacher will see a copy of that assignment in their workspace.
Okay, yeah, very cool.
Making creating assignments a lot easier and also a lot more collaborative, so that teachers don't have to do the same work over and over again.
Well, and I like too that it exports the results. So if everybody can take their colored copy, green, yellow, red, and then sit down at their PLC and talk through it. Like, why was this question did everybody do so poorly on it? I love that part of it too, so.
Awesome. And the last thing we do on the content side, and this I think is kind of similar to mention, is we create a school library. And so this school library, or district library, is the content that's just from your school.
Okay.
So, you have the catalog after you learn, but then you can go see what content was brought in from other teachers or administrators.
Okay.
So again, if once you create the Tom Sawyer, if Adam created it, here you go, and you can pull that into your workspace.
Okay.
So that's some of the things on the content side and instruction.
So can I ask if we want to, it talks about the ability to purchase things, and I couldn't find that on mine. Could you talk me through that, what that would look like?
Yeah, so what we do is, so we have some content and we have to repost it up, so we're adding some more and more copyright content.
Okay.
So we have a lot of free content, which is what we find, people really like.
Yes.
And we're adding, so we have content from Dover as a publisher. We're adding HarperCollins content soon.
Oh, wonderful.
With Simon & Schuster and with Google, so lots of purchase from Google Books. So we should be providing more and more options by default to purchase. But what we should do is you would just choose, and I think we have some stuff here, right? You can choose Dover. So here's some of the some paid content. So
okay.
For Voice America, this one's at $5 per student with that. They're sometimes as low as 50 cents.
Okay.
You select, and then you can purchase licenses, and we can work with your whole school to purchase them ahead of time as well.
Okay.
As an individual teacher, you can do it this way. You can say, okay, I need 30 licenses of this.
Okay.
So you pay $149.
Okay.
And then every student that you would have, you would assign them the copies of these licenses.
Okay. Okay.
And so we're adding more and more on that front. So you can see here some of the Dover stuff that we have.
Okay.
And you saw all the kind of the free textbook content as well?
Yeah.
So if you go, we basically have full textbook replacements for earth science, biology, chemistry, physics, these social studies courses. So you get the live paper textbooks?
Yes, that's a discussion we're having too. But yes, right now we do.
Okay, so this is one way if you want to start experimenting with trying digital textbooks, because we do it also in a piecemeal way where teachers, it's almost organized like a textbook. Earth science, here are your different units, and teachers can go choose what they want to put in front of the students. One of the problems with textbooks that it's because it's unbundled, it's like you're lugging around a huge book, but you only need a few things of it.
Right.
And you choose what you want, and they have
So in your experience with districts or schools that buy the pro version, do most of them use them just for language arts, or are there other content areas that are really
Yeah,
into
so
it?
the reality is that when we start, we, like about a year ago,
Hmm.
it was mostly ELA, but now we're getting a lot more interest in science and social studies. So usually it's
Okay.
across all three subjects.
Okay.
Uh,
I was
and
just
some
curious.
teachers feel differently about it. So, science teachers kind of usually have, what we've noticed is that their thing going on, the ELA teachers have their thing. So it's all about kind of how you talk to them in a way that gets them excited.
Right.
Um,
Well, I was
ELA
just
teachers want to step on first.
Yeah, I was curious because if you don't know how to teach reading, this would be an easy way to just give them the article. So I feel like that would be good for our teachers that don't really consider themselves reading teachers. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah, and the other thing is that we do, and here I'll show you here in new classes, you're not going to see that much data, but the other thing that's exciting for content area teachers is we not only track the skills by standard,
Yes.
but we also track it by content area.
Okay.
So I don't think we have anything in science to demo or social studies, but so you would see by content area, and you can imagine science, like, okay, here's how they're doing on different pieces,
Yep.
what they need to look for biology.
Sure. Okay.
So that can be pretty attractive to science teachers as well. So it's not just the reading skills, but it's also their content area.
Sure.
Um, let me see. So the assignments, so it looks like you've seen some of the grading, how the whole grading works over here.
Yep. So, well, I was a student and then I was the teacher, so I've kind of been through it.
Okay. Okay, great.
Yep.
And you've seen that you as a teacher can see students' notes if you want to.
Yes.
Instead of collecting books. Okay.
Yep.
Fantastic.
And then I do like how I can be grading it while they're doing it, and then it pops up on their, like they get a notification, right?
Yep.
That says this has been graded or whatever. So I like that kind of real-time interaction too.
And just so you know, for kids, we've changed this a little bit. When they click on their data screen, the first thing they see is their grade. So it's another way for them to quickly check.
Okay. Good.
The other thing, so we offer a lot more data in the Pro. So I just, have you looked at some of these tabs? You saw the vocabulary one.
I saw the vocab. I don't think I've seen this one, the effort one.
Okay, so the effort, this is just a measure of what students are actually doing.
Okay.
So you can see just how much time they're reading, how many questions they responded to, are they looking at vocabulary words? This is a great thing to check. So if students are not performing that well, you can say, okay, well, maybe you should start looking at more words, how much they're writing, how many words they've actually written. Are they looking at their peer responses? It's a great way for students to monitor comprehension, and you can kind of check who's doing it and who's not.
Okay.
So it just gives the teacher, and you can source as many time range you want, and we send a daily email for activities that happened the day before if there was significant activity to teachers.
Yep.
So it gives them a lot better sense of what's happening with their class. That's
Okay.
basically impossible, obviously, to track on paper.
Right. Okay.
And we do a similar thing for each student. Yeah. So we do a similar thing for each student where you can see their overall data, how they're progressing over time, and then their proficiency statistics as well as their vocabulary. And we have a reading log. So students, I don't know if you saw this, can do some independent reading, and you can see what articles they're reading across which genres and how they're rating and reviewing the content.
Yep. I did like that too. Okay.
So that was quick, mostly because I think you've seen a lot of it already.
Yep.
So hopefully, any other questions, and things you might have missed, or
Can you go back to classes one more time?
yeah.
View classes. And then can you click on the proficiency one more time? I think I might have a question, but I'm not.
Okay.
No, maybe not. Oh, yes, that's okay. Yeah, I do have a question. So it talks about how you can differentiate for kids that are struggling a little bit. On one point, can you add notes just for certain kids? Did I see that or read that somewhere?
Yeah, you can. So let me go here. I'll go back to this article. So what we do is you say insert note here.
Okay.
You see this box that says show only to students who need additional help.
Yes, that's the one. And then you can select individual kids. That's right. Okay.
So this is actually something where we use machine learning. So we have algorithms that are checking on how students are doing.
Okay.
And so we if you do this, then oftentimes, students that are struggling will get the additional notes.
Okay.
And then we see like as they do better, then they'll get it less. As they do worse, they'll get it more often.
Okay. Wonderful.
So yeah, that's done in this off-screen piece right here.
Okay.
We also, I don't know if you know, we kind of help teachers a little bit on it. Sometimes they tend to add a lot of questions, so this is a good way to measure, like, am I asking too many questions, or am I asking them?
I'm laughing because when we were doing our Stop the Sun test, everybody kept focusing on that. We have too many, we have to go back. But it was a great reminder that, yeah, and I like how you have to tie the standard to it too before you can really begin to formulate your question, because it really makes you start to think if it's a worthwhile question or not. So that's funny.
That's the thing, it's just like we as teachers, it's not easy just to want to get a lot out of the students, but it's
Yeah.
like, okay, let's make sure we prioritize.
Yeah, very good.
And yeah, and then also if you have, I think you've probably seen these things that you have, we don't show it all here, but if you have struggling students, they can, change background colors,
Yep.
they can choose what font,
Yep.
like that to help them out.
Yeah. Our kids found that right away.
Users are better at finding all the things that the athletes than the teachers are.
Yep. Yeah.
Any other questions on the content or how it works?
I don't think so. I think basically just pricing now, so I can get it to our director and we can troubleshoot and go from there, I think.
Okay, so typically our price is about it's $10 per student for the year.
Okay.
And what we do is, for anyone who's sort of purchasing now, we include the next few months for free.
Okay.
Until, most people are purchasing for next school year.
Right.
And then on the district, we will give a discount on the district purchase because there's a lot more students there. So like I said, I would consider it on the 4,000 students is what we base the price on.
Okay.
It would be for everyone. It would be for all 7,000.
Okay.
So it will likely be about a 20% discount is probably usually what we give there.
Okay.
But we can send you an official. We'll have to take a look at it, and we'll just send you an official proposal.
Okay.
Which highlights the pricing and highlights everything that we do.
Okay.
We also provide, given the large size of the district here, we also provide a lot of professional development.
Okay.
And most schools and districts find that really, really valuable.
Mm-hmm.
Not only we talk about like both reading and writing, and then of course we bring it to the tool itself to get people comfortable.
Okay.
But we find those types of sessions, like, do you guys do PE typically in the late summer or early fall for next year?
Yeah, our model's changing. So we have about 2 days at the beginning of the school year that's pretty much eaten up, and then we do late starts throughout the year.
Got it. And we also provide a lot of webinars as well. So
Yep.
we do support the district throughout the process. Sometimes it's the ELA teachers start first, and we'll do something else to help the science teachers, and we also help you curate the school library. So if you want, we're willing to work with administrators and groups of teachers
Okay.
to populate this from the get-go, so it's easy for teachers to come in and say, okay, look, I'm going to take today's assignment to get going.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, so that's probably what we're looking at. Any thoughts in terms of price point, or is it something that you guys are looking for?
No, actually, this is my first year in the role. Like I said, I came from the classroom last year, so literacy is very important to me as a former language teacher. So this is my big push, and we have 3 other integrationists who are kind of on board. And if I'm being honest, we're looking between you and Newzella just to kind of compare. Their Lexiles range is what a lot of our teachers like right now, but since you guys are so new, I think the possibilities for deeper, closer reading could happen with your website a little bit easier than they could with the other one. So we're just kind of getting estimates from both groups and just kind of deciding before our budget is due in the next couple weeks.
Okay, well, let us know if there's anything else that would help make it we show the lifestyle for a lot of times. We have a lot of current events. We're adding more and more. And then there's just a lot more content. Obviously, the way students interact, a lot of the writing. That's probably what makes it unique.
Yes, and I love the fact that you could add from a website, like you just showed, add the New York Times article, and then it's just there. So if I need to differentiate, I can. It's just a few more clicks. So I think that was really, really neat.
And do people use Google a lot in or not?
We are deciding if we're going to go Google or if we're sticking with Office 365. So that is also on our plate to decide before the end of the year. So yeah.
I was actually formerly at Microsoft, so good in some ways for Office 365, but we actually integrate with Google, and we're noticing a lot more people using Google, frankly.
Oh, okay.
So that's another nice benefit is that any kind of content that you're putting into Google, as a teacher, or putting into Google Drive, you have easy access. So if I'm here, so I can go into Scott, and then any of your content that's on Drive
Can just be plopped in there.
Google Docs, that's great. So you can just basically maintain the format.
Okay.
100%. So even if teachers want to author something,
Right.
This is content that I put in Google Drive, and then there you go.
That's pretty slick.
Or you can just highlight insert questions, things like that.
Oh, I kind of like that because then kids could write a they could do so much from the kid perspective. They could upload it. That would be cool.
Yeah. So a couple things that we're adding, by the way, to the kids side that you don't see yet is more what we call research scenarios. So students, just like teachers, students would be able to add any of their content that they see online, annotate it, and then they would get those annotations back in Google Docs, so they could see anything that they've added as notes in their reading or in their research, that they could access easily while they're writing as well.
Okay. Very cool. Okay.
Right.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it. If you could get me that written estimate, that would be fantastic, so I could take it to my boss.
Yeah, we'll do that later today.
Okay. Thank you so much. This has been a wonderful experience. So.
Great to hear it.
Okay.
All right, enjoy the rest of your day.
Okay. You too. Bye-bye.